Get ready with me to go to a SZA concert while I give you life updates. Hi everyone, it's me again. It's been a while. So I thought I would give you guys a life update while I get ready to go to the SZA concert I'm going to tonight, and just tell you guys all the things that have been going on in the last 3 to 4 weeks since I haven't been making videos. So life has been pretty busy lately. I literally just stopped doing my makeup. And by pretty busy, I mean I kind of just stopped getting ready as a whole. I felt like I didn't have any time to make content with you guys to kind of update you on the things I have going on. But you know, it's gonna be my first time doing makeup in a while, and I figured that today would be a good time. It's been pretty crazy in the best way possible, I guess you could. Since the last time I made a video, what has happened? So I am a working girl, have a job. I've been there since the second day of October, so I'm about to be there for almost a full month, which is crazy because it's been the fastest month, I would say, for sure. I work at this company that looks at legal cases for lawyers to take on mass lawsuits for people, and I basically just talk to people all day on the phone, and I basically just listen to their story about how they were hurt or about how they were affected or how their life has changed since being exposed or since being exposed to something in their life, and then we give those cases to the lawyers, those that qualify, and they fight for those people to get them justice for what has happened to them. It's definitely in the field that I want to be in. It reminds me every day of why I want to be a lawyer. It reminds me of how people's lives are very different than what's going on in your life, and it really just inspires me to just keep helping people, to just keep listening to people and be understanding to people. It definitely has taught me how to be patient, how to be optimistic, and how to just listen to those really hard stories, for sure. And my workplace is so convenient. It's literally right across from my school. It's a less than 10 minute drive, and it's on my way home from school anyway, so it's super convenient. My coworkers are so nice to me, and they're so nice to each other. Every morning, everyone says good morning to each other. Everyone starts the day off just really positive. Every time someone walks in to start their shift, they're like, how are you today? It's just a super warm and welcoming environment, especially my first 2 weeks. And then as time kind of went on, we had some special projects that we kind of undertook as a company. So people have gotten a little bit more stressed, I would say, but nonetheless, they don't take it out on each other. It's just a really healthy environment overall. School has been not super hard to balance, I would say, but it has definitely been something to learn how to, balance family and friends and my social life and going out and going to school and going to work, doing my homework. And it's kind of been the best lesson, I think, right now, one that I've kind of needed to learn. So yeah, I don't know, I really appreciate what's been going on and all the things in my life right now, and it's definitely given me such an appreciation for what I've done before, and it's given me a greater sense of proudness in myself that I am able to do all the things I want to do. The best part about it is that I work in the same company as literally one of my best friends, and she's one of those best friends. She's a cousin, so she's family, but she's my best friend because we're basically twin flames. We're basically the same person. So it's really nice being able to like see someone who does mean so much to me, like on every single day basis. We always try to see each other like after her shifts ends on like the weekdays, and then I try to see her when my shift ends on a Friday. It's so nice to kind of just have these kind of people that do support you. Like my family has been super supportive of like the entire process, I think, and they've been super like understanding. I remember like before I started work, I told my family, I was like, you know, I'm gonna get busy, and I hope that we can all still try to make time for each other, yada 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 yada. And I remember like after my first day of work, everyone just waited for me to have dinner, because I come home at like 7:30. Everyone just waited for me to have dinner, and we all sat and had dinner together, and it really just meant so much to me that I was like, wow, like I feel so supported and loved, and it just made me feel really grateful. And like all of like my closest people, all of my like my go-to people, they were all so proud of me that I was just like, what is there not to be proud of when you like reach a moment like that, you know? That kind of keeps me going, and is like, you know, is definitely my motivation to just keep going when it does get hard some days. Yeah, it's definitely been really nice to be surrounded by all these people that are also loving. So basically my schedule every day of the week looks like this. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I go to school for my 8 o'clock class. I end school at 1. I go to work. My shift starts at 2. I go to work till 7. I come home. I get home at 7:30. I eat dinner. I talk with my family till 8:30. I come upstairs. I get ready for bed, 9. At 9 to 11, I do my homework. I decompress. I spend some time on my phone. And I just do that just every day, just on a cycle. And it's really nice on those days, because I know that I don't have a lot of time. So I tend to be very like, okay, like very quick with my time. Like, okay, like I can't be sitting here spending this long doing this, and this. So then I don't. And I do my homework. I get so tired at the end of the day. And yeah. And I remember telling like my closest people, and all they told me was that like they knew I could get it and whatnot. And it's funny because I've been in the process of looking for a job not in the process, but I had the idea to look for a job for a while. I was like, okay, when I start school, I want to get a job. I want to start working. I want to like kind of get that work experience and build my resume for law school and do all these things. And the difficult part about looking for a job, or the difficult part about getting a job, is looking for a job. And that definitely was one of the problems I was having. I didn't know where to start, essentially. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know how to exactly sell myself, And my other cousin on my dad's side goes to the same school as me. And so one day I was waiting for him. And while I'm waiting for him, there is this table next to the table I was sitting at. And they were trying to get, like, stopping people to, like, come to talk to them and ask them, like, oh, like, do you work? Like, are you happy at your job? Things like that. And trying to recruit people. And I would kind of hear, like, a little tidbit of, like, what they would tell to people and, like, what their selling points were, right? And so then I heard them say that they like something about like legal or law or something like that, right? So I'm like, that seems like right up my alley. So I am like awkwardly sitting there, I'm giving them glances, like hoping that they'll talk to me first. That's not what happened. So I was like, okay, if I want something, I need to go get it. So I walked up to the booth first and I was like, hi, like I'm just waiting for someone, like I'm just, you know, curious, just wanted to talk to you guys, see what's going on here. And they were like, yeah, totally. So are you like working? And I was like, no, I'm like a full-time student right now. And they're like, okay. They're like, what are you studying? And I was like, oh, I'm studying political science. Like, I want to be a lawyer, da 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 da. And they were like, oh. And so they basically tell me their whole spiel about how they like look over people's cases for lawyers and how they basically just help lawyers fight their cases and try to like weed out the cases in which they'll be able to fight for them. So I'm like, okay, like, yeah, that totally seems like something I'm interested in. And so then I grab a paper from them, which is like a paper like of what positions they're offering people. And it literally is like, one of them is an intake specialist or something like that. And they paid, I think they were planning to pay like $20 an hour. And then the other one was like a verification specialist, and they were willing to pay like $18 to $23 an hour, right? So I look at like the whole like little thing, and I'm like telling my mom, I go home, I'm telling my mom, like, this actually seems really interesting. Like, so then I wrote so while I was at that booth, that like when I was talking to them, I wrote my name down just like as an interest thing. So then they email me like a couple days later telling me like, oh, hey, like, we would love to set up a phone interview with you. And I'm like, okay, great. And they're like, what day would work for you? And I was like, here's my availability for the week. And so they don't get back to me until like that Wednesday, and I told them my availability starting from Wednesday all the way to Friday. They emailed me back on Wednesday at 8, and they're like, okay, we can have that meeting at 3. Can you send us your resume? I was like, hello? I don't have my resume. But I don't text them that. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, hello, I don't have my resume. Like, what do I do? And I'm like, I don't have a resume because I haven't worked before, you know? So I'm like kind of freaking out because I have made an educational resume, but I didn't save it after I left high school and they took away my CCSD email. So I'm like, shoot, I don't have my resume. So then I made a resume from the beginning of my class up until like the beginning of my 3rd class. So I worked on it for about 3 hours straight. And so I made it, I whipped it out, I sent it to them, and they called me. And they basically, all they did was ask me like, hey girl, like, when can you come in for, like, they basically just verified all my information. And they asked me like, when can we call you, or when can we have an in-person interview? Can you do tomorrow at 2? And I was like, I wasn't gonna say no. So I said, yeah, like, that's fine. So the next day, I do the interview in person. I'm literally like so nervous because I'm like, I've never done this before. Like, I don't know what questions they ask me. But I walk in, they make me do a grammar and English test. And I'm like, the worst things I possibly know. And I was like, So I wing it. They give me another paper. It's like 5 questions. I have to write down my answers. Then they pull me into the interview, and the girl who interviews me is so sweet. And she's like, I'm like answering her questions. She's asking me questions, da 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 da. And then she's like, I actually love you so much. Like, I think you'd be a great addition here. I'm gonna go get my supervisor and like da 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 da. So basically, her supervisor comes in. He's super nice. He's super energetic. I'm like, wow, like I really love this. Then I go to, what did I do next? Then I do Then after he's like done interviewing me, he basically just hires me on the spot. He offers me the job on the spot. He says that I'd be a great addition here, and they told me that they sent me an offer letter, da 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 da. The girl who interviews me ends up being my supervisor in the department I'm working in, and I'm like a verification, so I really work closely with like the criteria and whatever. Super sweet people. The second I walk out of there, everyone is greeting me, everyone's saying hi, hello, and I'm just like, I'm enthusiastic. I'm like, wow, like I can't believe like this is happening, you know? So after I do that, I essentially end up talking to the girls that were at the booth, and they're like super excited that like I'm there, yada yada yada, and I'm super excited too, and I'm like, wow, like I cannot believe, like. And then I told my mom when I got home, and I told my dad because he was in the Philippines, so I called him, and it was just a really, like, I think great experience, especially because like this is my first job. I definitely feel a lot more like blessed that I was this lucky to get a job like this. Okay, I also don't have tape to do my eyes, so I'm just gonna use this. But I started like 2 weeks after that interview, or like a week after that interview, and been working there ever since. I told them that I have a trip to Europe that my family planned in December. I told them that, what did I tell them? I told her the second day that I started my training, and it's been great ever since. What time is it?
It's 5:30.
What do you mean? Show me the time. But yeah, I also just got my 2 first paychecks like in the last 3 weeks, and girl, hashtag blessed. Yeah, who doesn't like seeing their paycheck going up? Alrighty, I've been notified that I gotta go, so I'm just gonna bake this. It's really weird though, because I don't text a lot of people anymore. I'm not on my phone anymore. I don't wait on people. It's definitely something completely new, but I think it's something that I've really needed. It's kind of sad though, because I feel like I don't see my family as often. I don't have like the same freedom, I guess, of time that I used to have. But that's honestly like a small price to pay, because it's not like I don't have freedom at all. Do you know what I mean? So I've really just been appreciating everything, and all that everything has to offer me has been a blessing in disguise. But yeah, I've been waiting to see this. I've been waiting to go to the SZA concert for like so long. Okay, well, I'll fix it in the car when I have my eyebrow pencils are in the car. Okay, lastly, I'm gonna do my lashes. Oops, forgot my blush. I think I'll do my blush after my lashes. So because I haven't gotten my lashes done, I was supposed to yesterday, but unfortunately my lash lady had to reschedule, which was completely fine. She had a reason, so I totally understand. Now I have to put lashes on. So I'm just using Falscara. A little dramatic, but that's all right. Whoa, those are long. And a little va-va-voom more than I would like. This is definitely not the look I was going for, but oh well. trying to show up. Girl, I guess that'll work. I don't know. Okay, now I'm gonna go in and brush this off with some finishing powder. I definitely got in my eye. That's all right. I feel like they're not even. That's okay. It's all right. It's okay. I'll probably rewatch this video back and be like, that was a horrible lash choice. But who are we if not human to make mistakes like this?
Thank you guys for joining me tonight. My videos on what I want to do and things that
Okay guys, so I actually had time. I did my lips and I put on a little body glitter, and so now I'm all good to go. So thank you guys again for coming, and I'll see you guys later.